I'm here, just went through a massive personal download, but the understanding, the consciousness that came to this is these deep acceptance of all parts of us. And I know this is being spoken to, and what I'm speaking is no different than what's out there. I'm coming from an overthinking coping mechanism, an overthinking mind. My mind overthink for everything, and did since childhood. And it was my coping mechanism to survive in the environment that I was in. I had to think of safety, I had to think of escape, I had to think of how to find ways to have peace. So I was always overthinking for all the different reasons. And I built this coping mechanism from this trauma conditioning. I carried on in every aspect of my life: work, friends, family, school. And over the years, it's been highlighted to me that I'm an overthinker. And this came up today as well. One of my YouTube videos, somebody wrote, "Stop overthinking." And that really, really helped me to see even deeper into it. But I have been in the last few months embracing this overthinking, because what I realized, even though I was able to use it organically, naturally, because it was my coping mechanism, therefore I was conditioned to use it, there were times that I was also resisting, and I didn't understand why I was resisting something that was so part of me, engraved within me. And this few months of embracing the overthinking and really loving it and working with it, I realized that I used overthinking for healing. So the overthinking got me through deep, deep healing within myself, to really find those deeper versions of myself before trauma, before conditioning, before programming, before anything, the deeper essence of myself. And if it wasn't for the overthinking, digging the rabbit holes, I wouldn't be able to get that deep within myself. So I did. So those moments were great. Overthinking was functional. It was used as I needed. But as I was also healing other parts of me, like survival mode and self-doubt and lack and all the other stuff, which I'm still healing, but I've healed the outer layers, the layers that are more obvious, the layers that doesn't allow us to make the change and find those versions of ourselves that we can walk around not being in self-doubt, not being lack, not be, So when I managed to heal these, the overthinking became more obvious, because it wasn't bonding with those aspects of me that I needed to find coping mechanism for. But what I'm trying to get to is, the times where, especially work environment, that you're working with solutions, when you find solutions because of your overthinking, you've gone beyond to be able to see a perspective beyond, or more amplified, or more expensive than what is being presented to you, and then you can see beyond that. You gotta love your overthinking, don't you? And I'm coming here as a advocate for not the overthinking, but advocate for us to, early on in your healing journey, when you're starting to become aware of these limiting beliefs or coping mechanisms that you have created from traumas, from programming, from conditioning, to really appreciate them and embrace them, because they will teach you lessons. They're also going to show you, like it showed me the overthinking. It helped me through the healing. There was a purpose there for that reason. And of course, in other areas, there was no purpose. The other areas, perhaps I need to find the balance, to bring balance into this overthinking, so that I'm not constantly using it regardless, right? It needs to have a balance. It's just like being a perfectionist. It needs to have a balance. You can be a perfectionist, and it's coming from a loving place, or you can be a perfectionist coming from a burden place. And this is perhaps a little step to think when you are in your journey to like really appreciate these things that you are uncovering about yourself, unfolding, discovering, realizing, becoming aware. Because not only, yes, we want to release the trauma attached to it, but do we really want to not be a perfectionist at all? Do we not have any time of overthinking? Do we, these are not bad things. They're not going to derail you, but there is a path to find the balance to use them at specific times in your life with a balanced mind, with a balanced heart, with a balanced feminine and masculine energies within you. So it's not about pushing it away, resisting it. Some people will look at it and release it, but the releasing doesn't mean it's gone. My overthinking is not going to be gone, but I'm going to be able to find balance now. Now is my journey. I'm on this journey now to find that balance. When is overthinking needed, useful for the highest good of me, rather than being an overthinking all the time because it was just automatic. And with every healing that you do, really avoid going into this is bad, this is no good. Even the word limiting belief can be limiting to that, to be able to love a limiting belief. You have to allow yourself to love a limiting belief to understand what lesson that's bringing to you. And you know what? My overthinking, my self-doubt, my survival mode, always on the go, has taught me so much about myself and has brought me into the essence of myself. I could not have found the essence of myself if it wasn't for those limiting beliefs. And I appreciate them. And I'm grateful. And now I'm on this journey of balancing, these aspects of me and really finding a safe space, or not a safe space, but a loving space to be when I need to use overthinking, when I need to be in doubt. Sometimes you need to be in doubt. If your intuition is saying, don't do this, and you create a little bit of doubt, it's okay. It allows you to take a step back. It allows you to think, why am I in doubt? And ask your heart and get your answer. And then you might get the answer. But doubt doesn't mean that it's always bad, right? Being a perfectionist doesn't always mean it's bad. Are you doing that from a place of admiration, of passion for something that you love to do? Or are you doing this from that place of that little girl that felt burden, for being told off to clean up the toys every time, and therefore now you're perfect, you keep everything perfect because you don't want to be told off. So there are places where these things come from, and you need to appreciate them, whatever place they come from. And I think that's the message. Appreciate the limiting beliefs, the programming, the conditioning. Appreciate what they come from, because there's a lesson there. There's a diamond for you to find in those places. So I'm just advocating, really, don't push it away, don't resist it, don't discard it, and look back into it. Perhaps look back into it when you're ready again to look back into it. Perhaps you healed something really traumatic and you needed to really release and let it go. But if it comes around, I'm not saying to go back to it, but if it comes around, look into it with love, look into it with, where is the lesson? Healing isn't really complete until you understand the wisdom that situation has brought you, because the situation is created by us, but the wisdom comes from going through that situation. Yeah, your soul is teaching you that wisdom. So I'm very grateful for the times that got highlighted. I'm overthinking, even though at times I didn't like the label. I'm very grateful for the times that overthinking led me to heal deep, deep, deep wounds I would never find if it wasn't for my rabbit hole digging of overthinking. There are times where I have found solutions because of the overthinking. There have been times that the overthinking was turbulent to my mind. You know, when you live in an environment that is more peaceful, the overthinking becomes earrings in your head. It's horrible. I love those moments because it allowed me to see that the overthinking was too automatic and I needed to find ways to balance, switch it off, release, let go, understand it. And it allowed me to understand what's happening in my silent moments, what's happening in my busy moments, what's happening in my peaceful moments. And whatever it takes, it's appreciating the wisdom that comes from it and not put yourself in resistance against that just because it is a limiting belief, right? There's so many layers to it. It's incredible. But I look forward to posting this later on. And thank you so much for listening. We are Love and Light.